Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today what we're going to do is we are going to work on lecture 9 exercise 9, actually lecture 9 exercise.js. And I have copied this from a final version. You can read it. Why I'm doing this with you guys? Well, because it's all about loops, what we have covered so far. And we are not going to do registration. We're going to do login process here. And if you haven't, just don't copy the solution because it's going to be filled from the final folder. What you can do, you can copy this one same here and rename it. Just add --solution.js. Okay, so I'm gonna do it together with you, and make sure that you linking this one in here if you want to do it with me. Otherwise, if you already have done it, please just mark this lecture as completed. Now let me just get this one. So this is the first thing that we need to do. Create database array that will hold 5 different objects. Okay, now var database, that will be array, and you know how we declare array with this square brackets, and inside we need to have 5 objects just like this. Now I'm gonna use mine. We have too much space there. We don't need the space over here. Just copy it again. And I'm gonna paste it 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's add some details, a little bit different. So let's put here James. You can add any names, James, and here should go Jefferson. Then we have Andy, Andy, then Murray. Nice, and here it will be Andy. The password should remain the same, right? But you can change it if you want. So Silvio here, I will put some Italian. Berlu. So if anyone is from Italy, they will know what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Now the last one, should I put here Tom? Capital T, right? Tom Cruise. He's doing the course with us, guys. What a privilege. Okay, we are done with these. So console log, the database. Let's see what we'll have there. Oops. Nice. So I have the database that is array of 5 objects. We do have different properties and values inside. Nice. Next part is I'm just gonna copy all of it. I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna hold the option. You can hold Alt there in Windows if you're using Windows. So prompt the user to enter the email and store it in a variable called user email. So var user email and prompt enter your email address. Very good, and we don't need that much spaces there. Let's copy the same one, because the number 3 will be for the user password and your password. Very good. Create a function that is called user login. So function user login using camel case notation, and it will take 2 arguments from the prompt. User, actually we're gonna say email and password. Let's do a short version. Now, and it will check the user data if it's in database. Note, use loops. So for var I is equal to 0, I will be smaller with the database.length. Why? Because we can use the database.length. We already have that information. Cool. So I don't need manually to put 5 there. I plus the last statement there. Now, here what we need to do is we need to actually compare whatever we pass into the function. User login, let's call the function, by the way. User login, and pass user email and user password. And user password. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to comment out this. I'm going to console log the email, and I'm going to console log the password just to see if we are getting the data. So The variables will hold the data with whatever data we're gonna enter through the prompt. And these two variables, then we're just passing as the two arguments in this function. And this function we are calling outside because it needs to be called and executed. And here we can put any name that you need, and let's see if it's working. Rick, actually should be email address, rick at, come on, gmail.com. Pass. Here it is. I have Rick and pass. How cool is this? Now that is working. Put a comment there. So now the moment of truth. Database. Make sure that you put if statement. If database dot. Sorry, not dot of I. Database of i's dot email is equal to this email there. That is coming from our function as an argument. Now database, we should check and database dot, sorry, not dot. I'm thinking that I'm inside an object, that's why I'm using dot all the time. Password. Now I can't use this password because I need to use the password field that is in the object stored in the database, right? Don't confuse things, please. And if that password is equal to the password that we are passing here. Nice. So if that is true, all is left for us is to print all of these things here. Now paste it. Very good. Make sure that you shift it a little bit. Now here, option, hold option and put console.log, option or alt in Windows, and yep, that one. Now here we need to close. Oh, I didn't hold the, very good. Now I do have this double brackets there, and yeah, the plus sign is missing now because I messed it up. Okay, now Rick will come. Actually, what happened here? Let me just go back a little bit. So I need actually to close it here. First, I need to close the quotes. I'm just gonna hold option or alt in your system, right? And here I do have it. Very good. Now I should add plus sign. Come on. Plus here, and then we need to close all of it. Very good. And semicolon at the end. Now Rick will come from database of I dot name. This will get from last name. This will be from an email address. Email, this will be for the password. I don't know why I put a password there. And this will be for a created ad. But anyway, we can update the password in our created ad, in our profile page. Okay, so if we have a hit, what this is happening here? We're gonna look through all of the users in the database, and if we have a hit, whatever we pass through the function, and if we have a hit with that one in the database, then we're gonna print all of his details. Cool. Let's see if this is gonna work. Save it a couple of times because sometimes it might not work. Okay, so Rick, make sure that you're putting the correct email address that is in the database. Password 123. Now hit enter, and here it is. Now you can edit your name and things like that. Everything is there. Okay. Okay, but what if I don't put the correct details? What if I, for example, I forgot my password here and I put by mistake something else? For example, Rick at gmail.com. Even if I make a mistake with the email, doesn't matter. So if I put something like this, now it wouldn't find anything. And if I say, because I'm doing if, somebody will say, well, put a else there. Now console.log, please try it again. And look what will happen now. So Rick, actually you can put whatever you want there now. Please try it again 5 times. Why it's happening 5? This number tells you that it's been executed 5 times. Why? Because it's going through each and every object here. It couldn't find any hit, and it's going to the else statement and put it 5 times. So do you think that that is a good idea, to put somewhere in the form your username or your email and password, and to have like a thousands pop-ups? That's your name, please try it again. Well, so this is not ideal. So what we can do here, we can fix this. We can refactor it a little bit. So how are we going to do that? So remember that I told you that we can use in a function returns. And these returns, when something is found, they will stop the if statement, and because of that, it will block the entire for each. It will exit of that one, and the function is finished. So let's do this, and we don't need these else. Now, if I have a hit, let's return true. Or what is better, we can return the database of I, the entire user object. We can return this. Oops, sorry. We can return this. For example, if I target I will return the entire user object, and that is the beauty of it. Now, when I found something, I will return it. Otherwise, I can say return false. If I don't find anything in this for each loop, I can return false. Now, this should pretty much be clear for you. So we are returning the entire object, user object, when we have a hit. If we don't find anything in this for loop, before the function is finished, we return false. So we can use this now. We can create a variable outside called user, and we can copy this entire function there. And now this will have either the entire user object. So this actually, sorry, this variable, user variable, will have as a value whatever this function returns, right? Whatever this user function returns. And it will return either the entire user object or false. So this one will have some data, or it will be false. Now, because I know this, I can say if user, very good. So if it has some data, it will go in a if block. If it's false, it will not go in the if block. And that's why I can use now else and say alert. There is no user with these details in our system. Please try again later. Please try with correct details, right? Nice. And now here, whatever I had it here, I can just copy it, and I need to paste it. But let me just make it like that, and very good. Now I'm shifted, and I need to uncomment this one. So command and /. Now we have a little bit problem here. We don't have access to the database of I, because that was only strict here for this for each loop. But we do have access to the entire user. So I can say, I can just change everything. Oops. And I can say user dot, because I have access to the entire user. Good. Let's save it and see now if I enter some gibberish. Actually, we need to refresh it again. It was holding the memory of the previous one. There is no user with these details in our system. Please try again with the correct details. Good. Now let's refresh one more time and say rick@gmail.com. Hit OK. Password 123. Hit OK. Very good. Now I do have those details. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, now you know how to use for loop. And as a challenge, I want you to do the same one with for each. Okay? Or you can do it even with while loop. So I choose for, because that's the one that I really like to use. But please, as a challenge, do it with something else. All right. Then that is pretty much it. We don't need this part here. Okay, that was pretty much it. If you don't understand, just please watch it again. Make sure that you understand all of these things, and because you're gonna need in order to continue in future. So stay safe, and I will see you in the next section.